Hello everyone, this is Darko 2012 from Global Government News, and I am covering an article slash video that was carried by Infowars.com, but also posted from originally News Junkie on January 10th, 2010, called Domestic Espionage Alert, Spy Drone Discovered, and this is a picture of it. It's kind of a lightweight, kind of hollowed out version of the normal UAVs that are used to fight terrorism, quote, terrorism in Afghanistan. It says here, KPRC News in Houston recently filmed a secret experiment by law enforcement agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security, of a drone intended to spy on Americans. I don't really think it's a secret experiment. I've heard of this about drones. I've read about this on numerous occasions about these drones being used along the borders for, they say to police, help immigration along the borders and drug smugglers and terrorists. But I mean, we all know what it is. It's just like the body scanners. It's just to where they start. I'll get to the video here. Where they start on the edges here on the coast with everything in California and New York, and then it slowly creeps inwards as far as all these crazy security measures like checkpoints. Where they have these Department of Homeland Security, Gestapo. Checkpoints that are, it's an invasion of privacy and it's illegal. It's a legal search. They say it's for DUIs, but it's really just so they can go through your car. But at first they start out right here on the borders and down here in Texas and Arizona. But then you find them, they're like 50 miles in. Then they're all the way up here, and then slowly you'll have checkpoints. In here, and then you'll have drones flying in over here, in the heart of the country, and that's how they do it, because federally they can easily do these. They can easily pass these measures, and I don't know if it's secret, but they could just say, I mean, it's Department of Homeland Security, part of the Patriot Act, or it's for fighting the war on terror. I mean, to keep our borders secure, and people are still going to go along with it, and they'll still buy the crap. So they can do whatever they want on these coasts, or at least from this little border here. I guess they consider it a constitution-free zone. The ACLU does. It says Houston is within the coastal and border zone of America, where 2/3 of the population lives and where constitutional rights are routinely disregarded, according to the ACLU. Yet this poses the question about whether this pilot program and the usage of unmanned drones might be a regular policy of law enforcement agencies and surveillance programs. It is. I mean, I've already read articles where the police were asking for these drones. While they have their own helicopters, they want their own drones. And they're going to get them at our expense. But this is, like I said, it's no surprise also because they have, people that, if you don't know this, they have, the Department of Homeland Security has, surveillance blimps, and they're up in the sky, and as of right now they say that they're being used for the border right here for immigration and drugs, mostly drugs and the drug war and that, whatever. That's what they're saying they're being used for. But I've seen the pictures of them. They have different programs for these blimps, but I've seen pictures of them, and there's different ones. I've seen the blueprints, and they're made by, I believe it's Lockheed Martin, and so I mean they're using drones, but they're also using these surveillance blimps as well. And let me go to the video here.
Local 2 investigates the secret aircraft the Houston Police Department is now testing. It's a new unmanned drone that can patrol from the air. Now, it's also a device that HPD wanted to keep under wraps, and now they're being just a little vague at how they're going to use it. KPRC Local 2 investigative reporter Stephen Dean gives you the first look at the plane that could soon be watching you from above.
Neighbors accustomed to livestock and wide-open land had no idea what to make of all this. Black trucks, satellite dishes, a radar swirling, and a portable launch pad with something covered up. At the entrance to this Waller County ranch was a Houston police roadblock, checking all the dignitaries arriving for this secret test. Their invitation spelled out no media allowed. We tried to ask this HPD lieutenant on his way back out.
They'll be coming out here in a minute.
They all gathered around the launch pad, big shots with police departments from all over the Houston area. And now, the show they came for, the test you were not supposed to see. It's an unmanned drone aircraft. HPD, the Federal Department of Homeland Security, and other invited guests all watching to see how this drone could be used for police work in and around Houston.
We tracked that drone from News Chopper 2, and that drone was able to use a high-powered camera to track us. Those cameras can actually look into people's homes or even follow them in moving cars, which raises all sorts of new questions.
One issue is going to be law enforcement using this, and when by using these drones are they conducting a search in which they would need probable cause or a warrant.
The military's been dropping bombs and using drones for secret war zone surveillance for years. And last month, the California wildfires were snuffed out with drones joining the other firefighting tankers in the air. This drone is made by a Washington state firm called In Situ. They weigh about 40 pounds, but they can carry 15 pounds more in police gear. They can stay airborne over Houston 15 to 24 hours without landing.
I wasn't ready to publicize this.
HPD quickly hustled together a news conference when it realized our cameras were there for the entire secret test.
Potential public safety applications include mobility, evacuations, homeland security, search and rescue, as well as tactical.
Executive Assistant Chief Martha Montalvo admits that could mean covert police action, but she says it's too early to tell what else HPD will do with the aircraft. Maybe these guys know. We saw many ticket writers from HPD's radar task force, so we asked, are these drones headed for ticketing speeders from the sky?
I'm not ruling anything out.
Back at the secret test site, police helicopter pilots claimed the entire airspace was restricted. They even threatened our Local 2 Investigates pilot with action from the FAA if we didn't leave. But we checked with FAA several times, and there never was a flight restriction. That leaves some to wonder whether the police are now ready to use terrorism fears since 9/11 to push the envelope even further into our private lives.
We see that some of these technologies that were being used in the aftermath of 9/11 that we thought were necessary to protect our security in that time are now being used to diminish privacy in other contexts, and that is extremely worrisome.
HPD says it'll tackle privacy and illegal search issues later. Headquarters is hoping to begin policing Houston with this new tool in about 7 months, but more test flights are needed. No word yet on when the next flight is planned, or whether it'll be treated as a big secret like the one captured by our cameras. Stephen Dean, KPRC Local 2.
So there you go, guys. You know, it's such a joke. They basically weren't going to tell anybody. It was a secret what they were doing. It was a beta test. It wasn't, you call it an experiment. It was a trial run. It was a trial run. And they were trying to see if the public would put up with it. And so, God bless you, KPRC out of Houston. Thank God for local news, because if there wasn't, these assholes would be flying drones. Like I said, they would be having drones flying, whizzing over all of our heads right now. So, you know, that's what they were doing. They were seeing if the public was gonna catch up or catch it, and then if they were gonna pull their card, call them on it, and they did. And it was the media that was the biggest ones, and hopefully some people that called in about it, some ordinary citizens. So God bless you all for doing that. And yeah, that's going to be used to enforce speed. They're going to start ticketing people with speed. They're going to surveil. They're going to do all kinds of things with these stupid drones. And you can say search and rescue and like the stupid wildfires. You know, that was a big PR campaign. The whole wildfires with the drones. Yes, those things could be used for good things, but more than likely, most of the drones that are built are made to kill women and children in the Middle East. Okay, so let's not just bullshit ourselves anymore about this crap. So sick of it. Thank you.